Good afternoon. My name's Chris Hamilton with the West Virginia Coal Association, and welcome to a special edition of the Coal Scene. We are honored today to have as our guests two iconic and legendary coaches here in West Virginia. We are honored to have WVU's Don Nehlen and Marshall University's Bob Pruitt. We're going to be talking obviously about football. We're going to be talking about the upcoming season and also the annual Coal Bowl. And then we'll also talk some about the, the coal industry and the situation that both coaches find themselves in today, representing the coal industry here in West Virginia. So with that introduction, Coach Pruitt, Coach Nehlen, welcome. We're appreciative. We're appreciative that you've taken the time and come by here today to talk a little bit and share some of your thoughts about football, coal, energy, West Virginia, and just whatever else we want to talk about here today. Why don't we begin by talking about the Coal Bowl, what it means to the state, your personal thoughts about the game, and then maybe we can talk some about and get into some predictions about this year. Coach Nehlen?
Well, you know, Chris, I'm born and raised in Ohio, and came here from Michigan, and you know, I'm kind of a transplanted West Virginian. I'm a West Virginian by choice, and I'm a proud West Virginian. I love the state, and I think if you're a proud West Virginian, you got to love the coal industry. And to have that game as the Coal Bowl, I think, is outstanding. I think the game is great for the state. I was only involved in it 1 year, but now they've had it 3 or 4 or 5 more years since then, and hopefully we'll continue it. But, you know, it's especially as an opening game. Well, no, it's the second game. That's right.
This year.
Oh, poor Marshall's got to play Ohio State. Good luck, Doc. But, you know, I just think it's a great game for the state. I really do. I wish it was the opening game, because I think the fans get all jacked up during the summer and you know, have a lot of fun between the Marshall and West Virginia folks. And like I say, for us to play a Coastal Carolina or a Bowling Green or Kent or something, I think Marshall is a better choice.
I think most people would agree. Coach Pruitt, some initial thoughts, observations?
You know, as many people know, I lobbied real long and hard to try to get the ball game because I thought it was great for the state. Certainly great for, I felt like it was great for both programs, especially Marshall, because it gives us a lot of credibility, and we have a great football program scheduled every year. And one of the great things about the game is the association with the coal industry, which, you know, having a long history in the with coal through my parent being, my daddy being a coal miner. But the other great thing is I think, I'm not exactly sure, but I think at the end of this year, the Coal Association will have contributed $750,000 in scholarships to split between both universities, and that's about scholarships for kids, and I think that's a great thing. You know, we have a great contest here with a lot of enthusiasm that's earning scholarships, and it's an economic benefit to our state.
Well, a lot of people properly observe that it's just good for the state. I mean, and the game has almost gone on without incident,
exactly.
Even though there was some anticipation of some issues here and there. But it's been a real positive week leading into the game. As you mentioned, I think it has been the opener on an occasion or two. And this year it's the second game. Coach?
Well, I think other than him cheating me up there at first year and putting all those good players out on the field.
Other than that, we like that game. He should talk. Every time we kicked the ball, there was Randy Moss catching it, and every time they threw it, there was Chad Pennington, a couple #1 draft picks. But you know, Chris, when I think of the game, you know Marshall's going to have a sellout, and you know West Virginia's going to have a sellout. In fact, the tickets are hard to get. I know people in Morgantown are scrambling trying to get a ticket to the Marshall game, and I think that's really wholesome. I really do.
Well, it is, and this is the 5th year of this series, and you know, the game being played under the Coal Bowl. And Coach, you observed that you know, the scholarships that have been generated and that critical financial you know, funding for some of those kids to be able to participate in their student athletics. That's been really, really positive.
Well, the merchandise that's sold about the game and everything about it is a great economic boon to both universities and the state. So I think that's something you got continuously to look at. And the great players have played in the game. I think he mentioned Randy and Chad, but Bolger was your quarterback. I mean, Zaraway was your tailback. He's like you had Steels. You had 17 guys that played in the NFL you lined up with. I counted them. You know, I got a good look at them. So I mean, we had some great players. John Wade, our center, who's 12-year, was in the game. Doug Chapman got hurt in warm-ups, but he was played in the NFL. You know, so we had good players, and both teams had good players. And it was a great football game, and it was a great afternoon, and probably of all the games that I've coached in a lifetime, I remember that game the most, because this is where I live. This is my state where I've always wanted to live. I was born here, wanted to come back here, and I think it's a great game between the 2 largest universities in the state, and it's good for everything involved. And hopefully they'll continue the ball game. We hear that they're trying to work that out, and that'll be great. I think that's great for everybody. You know, anytime you schedule somebody when you're worrying about winning or losing, I think that you're cheating your program, because I think that everyone should assume that you can win any game you schedule and approach it that way. And that's how you win championships. And that's how Coach won championships, and that's how we tried to win championships. Was we thought we was going to win every game we played. And if your players don't think that, so and he played a lot of tough people, you know, and we did too. So this is a good deal.
Well, that's very good. I remember the '97 game, and that score in the second half went back and forth a little bit. And I know last year at Mountaineer Field, Marshall thought that they, you know, were going to, you know, compete for the win. What, 3-4 years ago, when the game was played at Marshall, the Marshall boy took the opening kickoff back, and they were in great field position and thought they had a chance. So maybe this is Marshall's year. There's a lot of optimism in Huntington.
Every game's been a good game. Every game's been a good game. Now, the one last year, I think Marshall was ahead at halftime.
I believe so.
Weren't they, Bob?
Yeah.
Something like that. And the one year before that, it was a heck of a game until maybe the last 10 minutes. West Virginia pulled ahead a little bit, but like I say, if you look at the thing constructively, West Virginia has to, you know, we're in a league with 8, you know, there's not many teams in our league, which means we got to play somebody outside the league, and I can't think of a better fit than Marshall.
Well, you mentioned Coastal Carolina, and I don't want to dwell on that, but you know, if you're going to play a Coastal Carolina or a Ball State, someone from the MAC, then from West Virginia's perspective, you know, why not Marshall? Right. And it's really just been such a positive game. And I mentioned to Dockla a couple of weeks ago that it's awful easy to overlook his first game this year and focus on West Virginia, because Ohio State's in a rebuilding year. They lost 1 guy on offense and I think 2 on defense last year. So
you know,
that's a very tough challenge for him going up to Columbus.
You know, Chris, you mentioned Coach Holliday. You know, I think Marshall's always been very well coached. You know, Bob, the record he had at Marshall is, you know, in fact, you look at it and you say that there's no way. I mean, the guy won so many games, it's sickening. But I really think that Doc will do a good job at Marshall. I really do. You know, Doc's a good friend. He and I worked together for a long, long time, and he, you know, he's going to get up early, stay late, and he knows football. He knows enough that he has to hire good coaches. I think their university's behind him, letting him pay the guys, so they don't have to be on food stamps. And I think he'll do pretty well. I really do. He's an enthusiastic guy. He'll get after him. He'll be consistent. He'll be fair with the kids. I think he'll do fine.
You know, I had the privilege of coaching with Bill Stewart at Marshall when he was the offensive line coach, and did a tremendous job. He's, you know, he's good for our state, and he's good for the West Virginia University, and he loves West Virginia, and he loves West Virginia University, and and he's won a lot of games. I mean, he's going to win a lot more. Yep. And Doc is doing a really good job. I think that we all are excited about the two new athletic directors at our universities. Oliver and Mike are both energetic, young, fired up guys that always have a smile on their face and always promoting their universities. And so I think the future is very bright. I mean, I know it is at West Virginia because Don had sunglasses on. It was so bright this morning. But
that's really bright.
Yeah, but I'm excited. I'm excited about the things that are going on, and am I anxious to see the game because I think the gap has narrowed a little bit here, and I think that the gap when I was at Marshall and Don for about 3 or 4 years there, we didn't play, but I thought we were fairly close, because we both had really good players and really good teams, and I think that. Marshall has narrowed the gap down a little bit more. They've recruited well, and Doc's done a good job of bringing some young talent in. And I think hopefully one day here Marshall can get them a win.
Well, you mentioned the athletic directors at both schools, Oliver Luck and Mike at Marshall. It seems that those guys complement the coaches and athletic programs in the schools so well. I mean, they're just together, just a very good fit for both schools. And I think President Kopp at Marshall and President Clements at West Virginia University just give total support to their athletic programs as well. So we're excited about this coming year, and it's just been a real honor for us. The coal industry to be, to have the Coal Bowl and kind of have the banner that game's played under. Incidentally, just about everywhere you go throughout the state, you run into a lot of alumni from both schools. Oh, yeah. And then you also run into a lot of people that's affiliated with the coal industry, that's strong, staunch supporters of one school or the other, and in some cases, both. And I know that your professional role has shifted a little bit from football and athletics to being a spokesperson for Friends of Coal. And again, there's just a lot of appreciation that you would, consider partnering with the coal industry. It's the state's leading industry, but some of your thoughts in that capacity is a spokesperson for the state's leading industry.
Well, from my standpoint, again, Bob was born and raised here. His dad was a coal miner. When I came here, I didn't know anything about coal. To be honest, I was kind of like those guys that didn't even know when you flicked the switch, the lights came on. I didn't even know coal did that. But, the longer I was here, the more I found out that coal is the economic machine that drives this state. And, I don't know when it was, Chris. It was, I don't know, sometime in the 90s. Bill Rainey, I called Bill. I said, "Hey, Bill, I hear all about coal mining and coal miners, and I don't know what's going on." So, boom, off I go, and I'm in a coal mine. And to be honest, I was a little nervous first time in there, and man, my eyes were as big as daggone I don't know what. And I came out of there with a great appreciation for coal miners. In fact, I said to myself, if my team was as focused as those guys, as committed as those guys, I guarantee you we'd win, because they really impressed me in that coal mine. There's no screwing around down there, brother. They're all business. And when I left that coal mine, I became a friend of coal real quick. And then when I retired and had a chance to help with promoting coal, because, I'm not a very smart guy. I coached football in my life. That tells you I'm not very daggone smart. But anybody that doesn't understand what coal has done for this state and what coal has done for our nation has to be pretty daggone stupid, Chris. The coal industry is what keeps this state going.
And continues to provide for the nation
Exactly.
And for the state. It's easy for a lot of people to think of the coal industry as being somewhat antiquated, but they don't think of their household technologies and electricity that coal provides for as being very antiquated.
Well, the technology in those coal mines, the average guy, there's no way that they understand what goes on. Because, I was an average guy and I didn't understand, so I know some guy that goes to work wherever he works doesn't understand the coal industry. And you know, I was in Summersville Saturday, and driving down there and looking at those mountains at some of those reclaimed coal mines, how beautiful it is. And I get so upset that the media only presents, you know, they'll take a picture of a surface mine and you know, when it's all dug up and so forth. Heavens, we're an extraction business. It's going to be a mess. Hey, when they built 79, I guarantee you it was a mess then too. But that's the nature of the business. But the coal people, they do a great job with safety, and they do a great job with reclamation, and I'm proud of them, and I'm proud I get a chance to help them. And I know this guy, Evans, his family were coal miners, so I know daggone well he's proud of them.
Coach?
Well, you know, I can remember back, I can't remember too many things when I was a youngster, but when I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, going down to Black Eagle with my daddy and Helen, the mines there, and on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and getting the paper bag full of fruit and candy and stuff, and seeing the coal miners, and seeing Daddy wash come in and shower and wash his clothes in the special wash machine, the Ringer wash machine we had, and my dad had black lung. I mean, he was in the mines in the 30s, and my wife's dad was killed in the coal mines. So I mean, we have a lot of reason to have to understand the heartache and the things that can happen in the mines. But we also have a lot of enthusiasm and understanding of what it can do for this state and for the people. Because I'm proud my dad was a coal miner. I'm proud to be a spokesperson for the Friends of Coal. If you travel this state as much as I have through recruiting and other ventures and with the Friends of Coal and other things, and see the tentacles that the coal industry touches, the different businesses and the tax base of this state. I mean, a ton of coal pays a great deal of taxes, but people need to realize that all the other industries that live off of the coal industry, their livelihood and insurance, the automobile industry, all these different industries that if the coal industry is not producing and generating jobs, that we wouldn't have anything else. And so I'm proud to speak for our coal industry, and I'm upset because people in Washington has declared a war on coal. I mean, that was the exact words, and I think that we need to vote anybody out that wants to take war on our state of West Virginia. To be honest with you, it's a war on the people in West Virginia. It's our livelihood, and that's it. I think that there's common ground that we can find, and not anyone's perfect. But when you declare war, war is war, and I think that we need to win this war if our state is going to survive. We're an energy state, that's what we are, and that's what we're going to be in the foreseeable future. So we've got to take care of our state and our people.
Well, you make a good point that you know, war on coal is a war on West Virginia. We are an energy state, and there's a whole lot of people that think that we can still eventually become the Saudi Arabia of the United States right here. You know, we have the capacity, have excellent commitment, and a great workforce. But it seems like most of the issues that are serving as obstacles today are political issues. You know, if it was a technical issue, we could solve it. You know, we have great engineers, great technical capacity, but these are truly political issues, and they almost require political solutions. And
get rid of them.
Well,
that's the solution, Chris. The ones that are declaring war, let's get rid of those daggone people.
One thing, and Coach will tell you, in football, especially in sports, if a guy can't be a member of the team, we benched him.
That's right. That's right.
We got a good chance. If they don't want to be a member of the team, we can bench them here in November.
Well, you mentioned the jobs and the economics and all the industry. When you put all the jobs together, there are truly several 100,000 jobs that are a direct result of our energy industries here in the state: coal, oil, and gas. I know the direct coal mining jobs, the direct jobs, just those individuals that show up at a mine every day, is very close to about 50,000, 55,000. You know, that's the capacity of Mountaineer Field. That's what you see up there on a Saturday afternoon, you know, throughout the fall. That's a snapshot of the coal industry.
Those are good paying jobs too, Chris.
Excellent paying jobs.
But I think if you include the tentacles that reach out and touch the friends of coal, whether it's coal trucks or insurance or the electrical companies,
the restaurant, the car dealership,
the car dealerships, the people that produce conveyor belts, or the batteries that run the miners, or I mean, there's so many of these companies that are around that's really dependent upon the coal industry. The 55,000 is just a mere speck compared to how that what's going on, and as the trickling effect goes down, it could really ruin our economy, and it bolsters our economy. And I think that's the important issue, is that you know, we would love for tourism to be able to support our state, but that's not happening right now. So it's our tax base. So we've got to pull all this together. Certainly, there may be things that we can do better, and I think we're working hard to do that and understand that. But there's things that we're doing really pretty good that we need to get credit for.
You mentioned tourism, and you know, we support a robust tourism program, and that's one of the things, and it's something that's very, very rarely emphasized. We do have it both ways here. You know, we have a very viable industrial sector, primarily coal within this region, but we also have a robust tourism program. I mean, West Virginia is a shining example of having it both ways. People come from all over the country to participate in recreational hiking, canoeing, whitewatering, and to take advantage of our natural resources here in West Virginia.
I think that, you know, one of the things that Coach and I really try to do, and everywhere we go, and we go all over the state here during football season, helping different programs, high school, midget league, whatever. But we think it's extremely important that people feel good about our great state. Yep. We're both proud of West Virginia. We're proud of the people in West Virginia. We're proud to be called we're West Virginians. And I think that we need to continue to create reasons for our people when we go to other places to be proud to say, I'm from West Virginia and this is what we do. And that's the thing about coal is part of it, and we need to be proud of it and say the good things that's going on in the coal industry. We need to be proud of our tourism. We need to be proud of every part of our state because we've got great people here. Coach can live anywhere in the world, as much money as he's got, and I'm trying to eke out a living here, you know. And old boy from East Beckley, but I'm proud, and I'm glad I'm a West Virginian, and this is where I'm going to die.
Well, he's got most of that right. But, you know, he is exactly right. And the other thing, Chris, you know, again, I'm an outsider. Been here 31 years now, so I'm not so
you know,
much.
I have to correct you on that.
That's right. So I'm not much of an outsider.
You said
anymore.
transplant and outsider. I don't think there's anyone in this state, Coach, that regards you as an outsider.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, you're
that.
True blue West Virginian, and there's nobody.
True green
West Virginian, and we're honored to have you here. You're a real plus to the state.
You know, Bob talked about, you know, having pride in our state, and when we go around to these high schools, we try to make sure the young people we talk to understand that. I just wish our media understood that a little better. I'd like to see the newspapers in this state get behind this state and be proud of being a newspaper that represents the state of West Virginia and talk about the good things that the coal industry does and not always the negative. And we live in a negative society, and it drives me crazy. I believe that, you know, when you have a football team, if they don't believe you're going to win, they have no chance to win. You know, if you hope you're going to win, you're not going to win. You got to believe you're going to win. And we have to believe in our state, and we got to get these other folks to believe in our state and push it a little bit. We need some help.
I think a lot of times that that people don't directly connect coal or base fuels that are used to generate electricity with their daily reliance on electricity. they tend to separate those two things, and that's unfortunate, because when people look at coal and think of coal, they ought to think more about their reliance on electricity and computers and those daily technologies that we all enjoy, that bring us the quality of life that we all experience as well.
Well, I think that we live in a volatile society, especially in the Mideast, and all they have to do is one little thing over there, and then OPEC start raising the price of oil, and they'll realize how important coal is, and we need to make sure that we're not dependent upon that. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I know gasoline was $4 a gallon not long ago, and it'll go up, and that all hurts the pocketbook and hurts our state, because we don't have a lot of variety of industry, so we have to maximize what we have. I know Coach and I have talked a lot. You got to exploit your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. And one of our strengths is the coal industry as an energy state, and we need to maximize that and really, really promote it to be the great thing that it is, and show everybody in the country.
Chris, I saw a bumper sticker Saturday. If you don't like coal, turn off your lights.
Very simple. Very simple.
That was pretty good. I honked.
We support as the industry, having a healthy renewable portfolio. We think it's good to have a little wind, solar, and nuclear generating electricity as well. But the fact of the matter is, you live in a state like West Virginia, the wind doesn't blow here 24/7, but yet we like to use electricity 24/7.
Right.
I want to switch back to football, only because we're going to be running out of time here in just probably within a minute or so. And to the extent you're comfortable talking about the Coal Bowl and perhaps who you think might prevail this year and why, if we could conclude on that note, or perhaps just some discussion of the game, I think would be good.
I don't know that much about Marshall. I can tell you a little bit. I've watched West Virginia practice, and I think they're good. I think they're very good.